All right, we were talking about taxes yesterday, so that's the focus of this one. I guess what's going to be the breaking point? When are we deciding that enough is enough, and that we sort of turn the lens back to our governments and say, what are you doing with all of our money? And I do think they have too much money. I do. I think they spend it ineffectively. There's no real watchdog. I mean, there's like consumer groups and business groups, but they don't have any power. They just are sort of, hey, you're doing things bad. And of course the government says, no, we're not. We're doing things the best we can. You look at sort of the public works that has skyrocketed over COVID, and the public works employees. I think it's like 1 in 25%. So 1 in 4 workers are employed by the government, and that includes everything from sanitation to politicians to teachers, medical doctors. What's another one I can't think of off the top of my head? That are all employed by the government, and that's a massive sinkhole of funds. And those are the people that are always going on strike. The nurses are going on strike. The teachers are going on strike. The sanitation workers are going on strike because they're all part of unions, and they know, or they have some idea of how much money the government collects. And then they do crazy initiatives like, we're gonna, now that I'm in the moment here, of course they all escape me. But I'm sure you can think of your own city and what sort of, or province or state or country that they've done to sort of, we're gonna solve this problem. We don't talk about it much anymore, but carbon credits. You remember carbon credits? It was part of a company that, 10 or 15 years ago, that basically we were going to pay a little town in Guatemala like $70 million so that we can continue to pollute in Canada. That's what carbon credits were. You would go to like a third world or impoverished country and say, here's a bunch of money that allows us to keep doing what we're doing over here in the other country. It's like indulgences. If you guys, any of you Catholics out there, I mean, that's how indulgences work. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go cheat on my wife with 3 women this weekend. What's that gonna cost me? And the priest would be like, $400. Give him $400. Or maybe you would do it retroactively. You'd be like, I cheated on my wife last weekend. What's that gonna cost me? $400. Here's the money. Cross you up. You're good to go, my son. I do know for a fact that like back in like the 15th century or whatever it was, you could buy indulgences. You're like, I'm gonna go fuck some shit up this weekend, and so I need some credit. I need some sin credits. Anyway, that's sort of how I thought of carbon credits. They don't talk about that much anymore, and they've changed the system into a tax system, which does nothing but tax you. Doesn't add any value, doesn't curb anything. You still need to use the energy, particularly if you're a business producing stuff, and the government just collects it and does stupid things with it. I do think the government has too much money, and I think they have too much control over what we do. Like I said yesterday, I should have looked it up, but I didn't. What was the tax rate when the Revolutionary War kicked in? When, a bunch of ex-Englishmen decided that's enough, we're not paying the king any more money? And it was a big deal. And a majority of the Americans at that time, of the 13 colonies, weren't necessarily in favor of it. You can go read that history, and it's fascinating to see sort of the debates that went on before, during, and after the war. I don't think they're much different than the debates that happen in Congress or in our own, I forgot the name of my own stupid thing. Whatever. called? House of Commons. You know, there have always been differing opinions of how things should be done, and I do find it hilarious that, you know, you talk to some of those redneck Americans, like a Steve-O from the other day. You know, oh, the patriarchal eagle. I'm like, dude, do you even know what happened to make all that together? You are the beneficiary of so many things that you have no knowledge of. You should do some reading and stop, you know, reciting ridiculous tropes about patriotism, and learn something, that the sacrifices that were actually made by a very small group of people to make that country happen. Anyway, it's I guess it goes back to my original question, like what's it going to take for us to say, you know what, government, we're not taking it anymore, and we are going to audit you guys. You know, we're literally dealing with a scandal after scandal up here, where millions and millions of dollars have gone missing, and nobody knows where it's gone. I don't know where that's gone. What did you spend on this? I don't know. How much did that cost? I don't know. Imagine you're getting audited, and if you haven't been audited, it's like a rectal exam, and they ask you everything you can imagine. Like, if every expense you made, what was this for? Do you have it? Can I see it? Right? Like, if I spent $30,000 on tools one year, they're like, we want to see those tools. Show us why they're worth $30,000. Show us first of all, show us the receipts. And second of all, show us the tool. And if you can't show us that stuff, then we're gonna not allow it, and you're gonna pay taxes on it. That's what the hypocrisy that drives me insane about government is. That's what they do to me, and yet they're able to, in their own little hearings, say whatever they want. Like, they're not culpable for the things they say in there. It's not like a court of law where you can get nailed for perjury. You can say whatever you want in Congress or the House of Commons, because they allow you to lie. So it's just so twisted. I don't know what the answer is. If I had my way, if I was king of the world, then I would flip those agencies, the Canada Revenue Agency and the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, to focus on government. What is the federal government spending their money on? What are state and provincial governments spending their money on, and why? Where is this going? Who is this to? Who benefited from this? Why are you sending, $400,000 to Mr. Johnson? What service is he providing? Consultation. If I tried to say that, like, not only would I get mocked, I would get penalized and fined, and maybe have the bailiff show up at my house and try and take my stuff. So that's what needs to change, is those entities need to focus on where all that money's going. Look at your crazy, if you're in the States, look at your crazy military. The Pentagon, we lost like $100 trillion. $100 trillion, you don't know where it is. No, we can't account for it. You can account for it, you just won't, because it's seedy as fuck. That's what that means. I don't know where it went. You don't know where it went? How can you not know where it went? and Canada's no different. We're just like, okay, anyway, how much do I owe on my taxes? How much do I just bought a sandwich, and I paid $3 in tax on it. I live on the ranch that I have to pay property tax on. I will pay property tax on that till the day I die. Why? Why? Oh, it goes for the school system. Does it? Really? Oh, yeah, no, we can account for it. Can you? Let me see it. Well, don't get crazy, Bob. Just, we can account for it. Again, imagine me saying that to the government. I don't owe any taxes this year. Prove it. Up. Just. You're just gonna have to trust me on this one. That's what really chaps my hide. Is that what? They're literally. I think they're gaslighting us. I think they are. The hypocrisy, the just. So I don't know. What would happen tomorrow if 50% of people said we're not paying taxes anymore? What would they do? What could they do? But we have been sort of convinced that those taxes are such a necessary part of our civilization that the world would collapse without it. And there's no doubt there'd be significant changes that would come about if that happened, but I'm not sure they're all bad. I don't think they're all bad. And I'm not suggesting that you stop paying your taxes tomorrow, but they should throw out the entire tax code, sales tax, all that bullshit, and say everybody pays 8% tax. Business, personal, that's it, 8%. Okay? Super easy. I can do the math on that. Instead, you have like a 2,000-page tax code that lawyers spend their entire lifetime trying to master and find loopholes in, so that they can benefit their clients. Literally how it works. Anyway, I'm overtime as usual. Pay your taxes, but you should. My suggestion to you all is that when you get the opportunity, you should get involved in government somehow. I am thinking about doing that. I don't know how to manifest that yet, but I think that's going to be part of my future endeavors is, officially bitching about the government and how they can do better and how they need to stay out of people's individual lives and let them do what they want. My thoughts, not yours. Have an excellent Tuesday.